think we're all going to get to a point one day where we say, my life is kind of a mess right now. I'm miserable. I got all these problems, and I tried God, and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, but I just get nothing. And it makes me feel worse, sometimes even stupid. And I get angry and frustrated, and any little bit of faith I may have had, it's gone. I think we've been fed two lies. The first is, if I just believe in God and find religion, then God will make all my problems go away and life's going to be easy. I don't know anywhere in the Bible it says that, and if anyone tells you this, I wouldn't trust them.
God is going to give you what you want.
The second lie is that life is supposed to just be great and happy. We're shown all day long how great and happy everyone else's life is, and if my life isn't great and happy, then there's something wrong with me. Which, oh, by the way, leads to an inner hell of envy, resentment, and self-pity. Everybody's got problems and suffering, and if anyone tells you they don't, I wouldn't trust them. The Bible actually says that this life is more like warfare or a valley of tears. I think if we've lived a little, we know this to be true, and that true happiness, the free from all tears kind, is not really found here. Sure, we'll get glimpses of it, like looking through that blurry glass you see in bathroom windows, but full happiness in full clarity is only found in the next life. This is our hope. Now, these bother a lot of people, but I actually find it quite comforting, because to me it says that it's normal that my life is hard, and it's normal that I'm not a fountain of sunshine and happiness all the time. The truth is, sometimes problems and suffering can actually be a good thing. Think about it. It's not till we're face to face with some real problems and suffering that we get to see who we really are and what we're made of and what needs to change. And it's through all those sighs and groans that we finally enter into ourselves and come to realize that we can't always rely on the things of the world or even ourselves, and we have to look elsewhere. And so that journey towards truth begins, and that consolation that only comes from an inner perception of truth. Okay, so now that we're all feeling worse, what's the point? When I was in college, way back, my dorm room was a complete disaster area. Night was the worst part of it because the light switch was on one side of the room and my bed was all the way on the other. So when you hit that switch, you had to cross this minefield of pain and treachery to get to the other side. Now, most of it, I admit, was my own mess of useless junk that I collected over the years and left sprawled all over the floor. But some of it was somebody else's mess that they just dropped into my life. Like my roommate would leave those styrofoam boxes filled with petrified food from God knows when all over the place. And some of it was just that big, scary, out-of-my-control stuff, like those toe-crushing, knee-smashing corners of that mass-produced dorm room furniture that was bolted to the ground. So that short little journey in the dark through that tiny little room was terrifying, because each next step could lead to impalement, death, disease, loss, or some kind of great pain. And so it is, in some way, with life. So we either blame God, or we get down on our knees and we pray and we ask God to come in and take it all away. But then we wake up the next morning and the mess is still there. And we say, "Where are you, God? Give me something here." But I think, as we've all learned by now, it doesn't always work that way. Because think about it. Even if God did miraculously intervene and remove 1 or 2 or 10 of these obstacles, which he might, but you know and I know and he knows, there's always going to be more. So what he's offering is actually better than 1,000 miracles. He offers us light. Now, the light doesn't make the mess go away. We can just see it now for what it really is. Then we can remove the stuff we can remove and avoid the stuff we can avoid, and that really big, scary, out of my control stuff, well, doesn't look as scary when it's covered in light. Jesus said, "Listen to my words and put them into practice." And it's like a builder who builds his house in stone rather than sand. And when the storms and the winds and the rains come, and they will come, the house is safe. The house is strong. Elsewhere it says, "Trust in me." And it's like a tree planted by the river with roots that reach the water underground. And when the sun and the heat and the droughts come, and they will come, the tree has nothing to fear or worry. It's always vibrant, full of life. Jesus says, "I'm the light. Follow me." Or in other words, imitate me. And when the darkness comes, and we all know it's going to come, the darkness will never overcome you. Notice this isn't something we just sit around and wait for God to come in and do to us. It's something God's been waiting to do with us. And the miraculous part, it's not so much about God coming in so we can live without problems and suffering in some kind of peace. That's unrealistic. The miraculous part is about God coming in so we can live with problems and suffering in great peace.